What up, everyone? Welcome in. Comment, like our page, follow us on Twitter, and share our page while sharing a cold one with the boys and the ladies. We got a cold one in my hand. I know Drew's got one over there. My name is Jeremy. That is my tag team partner, Mr. Drew Ward. Brother, how you doing tonight?
Good evening, my friend. I'm as good as I can be here in January, waiting for brighter skies like the golf in Hawaii I'm watching.
Who's winning the tourney in Hawaii right now?
I think Brendan Steele was up there. I've been doing kids things. Joaquin Neiman clearly making a run as we speak. So good golf, primetime golf, always fun in Hawaii.
And for those who like golf, we do golf shows every now and then, so stay tuned for those. We'll keep you updated. You can check out our social media at FCFS Pod. Find us on Facebook, fb.me/FCFS Pod. Follow me at Somerville CLE, and follow Drew at Detroit Dave 7. So, breaking news before the show started. We talked about it earlier. We talked about it last week. It's been on our social media today. Urban Meyer finally says yes to Shad Khan, and he is now the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Duval, stand up proud. You got Herbs going. You said it last week he was going there, but you've also been consistent on saying you don't think he'll succeed. So now that he's there, what say you, sir?
I mean, listen, clearly he got what he wanted to choose Jacksonville. You know, you had said before you think a USC job with the kind of guy he is might be the place to go, but he got what he wants. He's going to be able to hire the assistants he wants. And listen, I mean, they have draft capital, which a ton of draft capital, including the number 1 pick, which will end up being Trevor Lawrence. So he can, they can turn around and flip that roster. The one thing I do think that he has going for him, and we've talked about, is, the guy he's probably recruited 50% of the guys in the locker room. I mean, Urban Meyer was in all these top recruits' living rooms, so they're familiar with the guy. I think he's a guy that can relate to players. I think he'll be a player's coach. Again, but it's all falling on a first-time head coach in the NFL. It's who does he surround himself with? And we're throwing Trevor Lawrence in. Now, they do have weapons, and I think with the capital and the salary cap that they have, they can certainly change things, but I think it's going to be a process. I don't think it's going to be great right away.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's really dependent on who he brings in, because he's never been an NFL head coach. Yes, he's been all around college football. He's gone from Bowling Green. He's gone to Utah. He's gone to Florida. He's gone to Ohio State. His jobs have gotten better each time. And now he's finally in the big leagues in the NFL at 56 years old, 187-32 in the college ranks, 12-3 in bowl games. This is a guy who wins everywhere he goes. And now he's going to have to get used to, you're going to lose possibly more times in 1 year, in your first year, than you probably did in 4 years in college, or maybe even 5. I mean, this guy's only lost 32 games. So who does he surround himself with? There's names out there. Scott Linehan as his OC. And a guy I said earlier that I think fits perfectly, especially because I do believe no matter what anyone says, yes, there's the Ohio State tie. Yes, Justin Fields is probably the second best quarterback in this draft.
Oh, he's not,
there's no way in my mind that Justin Fields goes number 1. It is Trevor Lawrence as the number 1 pick. And
I wouldn't
Tony
be
Elliott
surprised if that was in Urban's contract. Like, you were drafting Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I think Urban's not dumb. You said it before. He can be plug and play in Urban's type system. But we have to see, and I do understand that the game has continued to kind of transition into some more concepts that we see in college, especially with the RPOs and things like that we see now. I think Trevor Lawrence will fit right in, be just fine. But again, that team's going to have to – it's going to be a learning curve for them. But I do think they can load up on talent based off of the cap that they have and the picks they have. But you're also talking about bringing in a hell of a lot of young players. And, they honestly don't, necessarily always run right in and dominate.
No, but in that system and the way they have things set up right now, if you look at it, they've got a running back. James Robinson, over 1,000 all-purpose yards this year. Pretty damn good for a guy who was playing with, Mike the Giraffe Glennon, Gardner Minshew, whoever was out there. And their offensive line obviously needs help. Cam Robinson, he's a free agent. Dude, that neck. I mean, I just can't handle it.
He's got a family and stuff, man. Leave his neck alone.
He puts his neck out there for his kids, and I understand that. But listen, dude Urban Meyer is an excellent head coach. We know that. They've got a roster there that can win. Cam Robinson at your left tackle, he's a free agent, probably not coming back. Get someone better. You can get someone in the draft. You can get someone in free agency. Maybe you move Cam inside. And I'm just checking tweets here as we go. But anyway,
I want the contract numbers. I'm doing the same damn thing, man. But don't, again, just to touch on that. Schefter just tweeted 18 seconds ago, no numbers in it. But the thing is, they have weapons, right? I mean, DJ Chark is Laviska Shenault coming on. They have, like you said, James Robinson. They have weapons and guys that they can kind of kickstart with Trevor Lawrence. But we'll see. I mean, it's a big time hire, and the Jags are lucky they got Urban Meyer because they haven't put any time and effort into anybody else but Urban Meyer. The dominoes are starting to fall at this point.
Absolutely. And that's an excellent segue. Yeah, we'll stay on Urban just a little bit more. For Urban Meyer, you look at what they have on defense on top of that. Miles Jack is still there. Joe Schobert at linebacker. You've got CJ Henderson, who you drafted, Clavon Chason, who you drafted last year. What are the expectations year one, in your opinion, for Urban Meyer?
It's hard to put a win total on it. 8 wins. I mean, 9 wins. I think it's hard to say, hey, this team needs to win 9 games now. But I believe when you're bringing in the number 1 pick, when you're also bringing in a bunch of talent through the draft and, of course, number 1 pick and free agency, you're kind of expected to start winning some games. And I don't think that roster is terrible. Like you mentioned, there's some young athletic guys, especially on the defensive side. I just think it's going to take a while for the team to get it going. But you would say 7, 8, 9 wins, in my opinion. I mean, are you going to tell me that they think 6 wins is going to be good enough in year one? I think that they expect him to turn it around rather quickly.
I believe you're absolutely right with that. But it's 6 wins, but they have to see growth and they have to see development in order to feel like it's a winning season as far as growing. Because you're growing with that number 1 pick. There is going to be a learning curve. And is he going to bring this guy along slowly? Or is this going to be Herbs, who's used to guys coming in and performing right away and just
there's going to be nothing slowly about it, in my opinion. There's not. I mean, Trevor Lawrence he's a blue chip guy. Put him in. What are we doing here? Make sure we can protect him and throw him into the fire and let's go. Because again, what good is it? And I understand moving him along, but you got a guy like Trevor Lawrence, a guy like Andrew Luck. You play those guys right away because those guys are the kind of guys that you're building your team around. And damn well the guys around them want the best guy on the field that gives them the best chance to win. And that's going to be Trevor Lawrence.
I 100% believe in that he's going to start, but do they bring him along slowly? Does he say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to
not open it up
as a running team, not open it up all the way.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Now, I do. And I think, of course, you have to. And trust me, we've seen it. I mean, Urban, it was pass happy lots of times at Ohio State. But keep in mind, think of the backs that he had. I think they'll balance it out. Again, it's going to take some time. That offensive guys like Urban Meyer want to throw the football, especially with their new shiny toy at quarterback. But they are definitely going to have to establish a run and ease the kid in to that sense of easing him into a game by game basis. Absolutely. But definitely be under center.
$100 million in salary cap space. The number 1 overall pick. You've got weapons there, and now you have Urban Meyer. Jacksonville, team on the rise. Can't go wrong there.
Don't they have 2 1s too? I think they got something in the teams as well.
They have the Rams 1 from the Jalen Ramsey trade.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rams football, the Rams lost a member of their front office today as they lost director of college scouting, Brad Holmes, who the Lions said, what up, Holmes? Let's come on over to Detroit. The 4th straight hire for the Detroit Lions with no GM experience. But some say he's a young Ozzie Newsome. He was key in the drafting of Aaron Donald, Jared Goff. And when it came to Goff, Snead flat out asked him, Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, flat out asked him, is Goff worth trading up to number 1? Without blinking, Holmes said absolutely yes. So if you look at their drafts recently, since he's in charge of college scouting, 2017, they got Cooper Kupp, John Johnson, Samuel Obukum, Noteboom, Allen, and Kaiser in 18, Rupp and Daryl Henderson in 19, Akers and Fuller in 20. These are very solid draft picks. So, Mr. Detroit Lion wearing this proud emblem on your shirt. It's a big day for the big catch. You look at this Panthers, Jags, and Lions here.
Yeah.
Brad Holmes is your new man in Detroit. What say you, sir?
I think as a Lions fan, you have to be happy. Now listen, it's of course, like you said, it's not a GM with experience. This guy around the league, from everything I've heard, is raved about. I do love the idea of course, the drafts and the 25 Pro Bowlers that the man is drafted over his time, with the Rams. But the thing that I like most about it, it brings a different perspective. He, again, you look at the disaster that happened the last time around. You're not always going to get GMs with experience. The Lions are moving in a different direction here. I think as a Lions fan, you have to be happy. You have to be excited. That the college aspect that he has, though, and his ability to evaluate talent, which from everything I've heard, that is his bread and butter, is evaluating talent. The Lions have people on staff that can manage the cap, because I know he hasn't been a GM. We know this is a different thing for him. But again, you can't just always hire retread GMs with success, because GMs with success are still where they're supposed to be. They're with their teams winning. So sometimes you have to go out of the box. He's into analytics. It's completely different than the dumpster fire last time. Now, hey, I'm not saying it's going to work. We still don't have a head coach. But you have to, like, as far as drafting and looking back at what Bob Quinn's drafted, you have to like his hand-on college knowledge and his ability to evaluate people at a high level and make smart decisions.
Now, you sent me a text saying that he had been a part of 25 Pro Bowlers in his tenure?
Mm-hmm.
25 Pro Bowlers during his tenure, and my cat decides to get in the shot. He's freaking out for some reason. But anyway, 25 Pro Bowlers drafted during his tenure with the Rams, and now he comes into Detroit, and you're absolutely right. It is a brand new look. It is a brand new way of looking at things for this team. And for a guy who's been excellent at drafting, you have the what? Where are you guys picking the first round right now? Seventh. That's what I thought. I had 8 for some reason written down. So you're sitting there at number 7, and you have a lot of holes to fill on that roster.
Yeah.
Do you feel better with him picking at 7 than you would have if they would have brought in one of the bigger names who maybe didn't focus necessarily solely on the draft of late, but were leading more draft rooms, such as, Kevin Colbert from Pittsburgh?
Yes. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, the GM's going to end up making the decision, right? But they rely on guys that are in college pools, and you're evaluating this talent. And Holmes does that, from all accounts, better than pretty much anybody. And that's how you start building the team when you're the Lions. You have to build from the draft. Of course, again, GMs hire people to do this. So at the end of the day, yeah, they might get the word from somebody, but apparently, this guy's word has been pretty damn well. And you've pointed out, his Pro Bowlers, and look at, the amount of Pro Bowlers the Lions have had. And then get depressed and start drinking.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that.
So now that you have a GM in place, where do you think you are looking for your next head coach? Is it a guy they've already interviewed, or is it going to be someone who hasn't been interviewed yet?
I have a feeling they're going to bring a couple more people in for an interview. A lot of people feel like there's traction to Darrell Bevell getting an honest look at this job, which is disgusting to me. And it's nothing against Darrell Bevell. Again, we talked about, we're kind of revamping this thing. We're moving in different directions. And I think when you hire the interim, as people know, again, a lot of the times you get guys to play hard for you because it's something different. You look good. But at the end of the day, I think that's not the direction they need to head right now. I'll be interested to see what happens. I mean, I don't know if this makes a Robert Saleh or somebody like that out, but at this point, if I were to pick somebody, it would be Arthur Smith.
Okay.
That'd be my
Titans offense coordinator. I think that would be a nice fit there. Bring in a young offensive-minded head coach to fit with the young offensive talent you have there in Kenny Golladay, hopefully, who returns, who I think should return at least on a one-year deal, as long as DeAndre Swift and along with DeAndre Swift. And then you have the big issue as the quarterback spot. Does Matt Stafford come back?
I think it feels that way. Again, do you draft a guy at 7? I don't think so. It's just hard to say. I think the organization wants to hang on to Matt Stafford. I think the only way Matt Stafford goes somewhere is if Matt Stafford wants to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. If Matt Stafford doesn't want to be part of another blow the shit up and beat, this is what we are. Now, when I say blow it up in the NFL, that doesn't mean you go and lose 0 games. I mean, you sucked last year. Yep. So we're not talking about a 3-4 year turnaround time here in the NFL. You win in 1 or 2 years or you're kind of out. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't know. It's you got to be able to flip the script relatively quick in this league. Otherwise, you're going to be out because this league has such parity. And you got to be able to continue to put out a good team. And in other teams, that's why every game is pretty damn close in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Not all of them are, but everybody's got ball players. Everybody has salary cap. Everybody has draft picks. It's just, some teams are worse at things than others.
Like the Browns and Lions for many, many years.
Forever.
And I'm with you. I don't think Matt Stafford goes anywhere unless they are absolutely blown away with the trade offer. You have to give up a lot to get him because he's still young enough that he's in his prime and he's going to win a lot of games for someone. But I could see them definitely also drafting a quarterback at number 7 to start moving towards the future because now you finally have a group that is going to look forward to moving into the future.
If you think Zach Wilson or Justin Fields are the guy, then yeah, you pull the trigger if they're there. But yeah, I mean, you know how this is. We're in January. By the time April rolls around, we'll be thinking it's 4 quarterbacks coming off with the first 4 picks.
Trey Lance.
Yeah, like
gets in there.
You know how it always is. Like a team. We hear the team fell in love with Trey Lance, and and we don't know what the hell is going to happen come April time. But if a guy like that's there and they deem that that's their guy, then yeah, roll with it and then stick with Stafford or see if you could package Stafford. Yeah, you'd like to not have to throw a guy in right away if you didn't have to.
Now, one more thing, you didn't mention Darrell Bevell as a possibility. Did you think it was weird? I don't know if you probably have heard it, that they had Darrell Bevell do a Zoom interview
from the other room
while he was within the building from the
room next door, just to keep like the honest interview process with all candidates is what they claimed. I mean, Jesus, it's like, yeah, I did hear that. I think it's ridiculous, but whatever. And then, I mean, from what I've heard, though, Darrell Bevell, and people that know him have said that he thinks he had a really good interview. And I feel like the more the days go by, the more traction I hear him kind of picking up. And you know what time it is. It's bullshit rumor time of season. But, if there's smoke kind of coming from all different angles, there might be something there. But who knows? I hope that's not the case. I hope Marvin Lewis isn't the case. Yeah. I mean, and listen. Everybody says, and I know we're ranting about the Lions, but everybody says, oh, you want stability. Marvin Lewis is stable. I don't want that.
Stable, losing 0-7 in the playoffs kind of thing.
Yeah, like I'd like to win a playoff game or something. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
So you guys.
Trust me, after last week, it was really, really cool. Yeah. And we'll talk more about that later. But let's move on to the next big cat that got their man. That is the Carolina Panthers. They got Scott Fitterer, the VP of football operations for the Seahawks, part of 14 playoff appearances, 3 Super Bowls. Now he's going to Carolina to join up with Matt Loverrule. Like this? Is this a good move for Fitterer to finally get out from Schneider's shadow and move on? Why Schneider's shadow? That was hard to say.
No, I think it is. Listen, Seattle has had a ton of success. It's always good to learn under somebody like that.
Mhm.
There was rumors that the Lions were going to try to poach Schneider out of there. Clearly, that didn't happen. I've heard all kinds of things. Again, that's this time of year.
Silly season.
It really is. It's really batshit crazy. But yeah, I think it's good for him. It's a different hire for Carolina. They're an interesting team to me when we get into all the offseason stuff because we really don't know where Carolina stands with lots of phases of their team. But I think that's why they brought in a hopefully a voice and direction to where they need to head next. And yeah, I mean, right now you can't say anything bad about the hire, in my opinion.
I'm with you on that. And the biggest thing they have to do is figure out what they're doing at quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater, they took a flyer on him. Teddy's not the guy.
Don't watch your damn mouth.
I love Teddy Two Gloves, but Teddy's not the guy there.
I agree with you.
I mean,
I just decided not to say it.
You got Christian McCaffrey, you got Curtis Samuel, you got DJ Moore, you got weapons.
DJ Moore's turning into a stud, by the way.
He is, absolutely. You've got weapons on defense. You're building on defense still, but you get a quarterback in there, it could be scary. That's a quality team. And Matt Rule's first year there, thought it was a pretty successful year.
I thought he was. I thought he had a good year too.
But that was a competitive football team, and they looked pretty good in spite of
played 3 games.
Yeah.
3
games.
3 games.
Tree.
But
yeah, big day for teams with big cats. Herbs, Holmes, Fitter, everybody gets their man. There's still a bunch of teams still waiting. We're waiting on We're waiting on the Jags. They need a GM still. Urban's going to hire the GM. His staff is going to tell us everything. The Texans, we didn't even put them in this, but I think it's just because I kept pushing them out of my head. The Texans are a damn mess.
Do you think Bieniemy ends up going there?
I think Bieniemy should say, fuck you. I'm out. I'm not going. Don't give me a pity interview after Deshaun Watson says, hey, why are you not interviewing my guy here? It makes no sense what they're doing. No. Jack Easterby, by everything I've heard, is just a terrible dude to be in an organization. And they're just, I don't know what they're doing there. It makes no sense to not try to keep your star quarterback semi-happy. Don't have to suck up to him 100%, but do something to make the guy want to stay there.
We were on here talking about this last week. It's gotten no better. It's probably gotten worse. Now you have Andre Johnson, Hopkins, Nuke coming out and saying, hey, Sean Watson, you should probably think about doing something else. That organization does nothing but kind of ruin people.
Absolutely. And these guys stay there because they pay them, and it's always looking like they're going to build something. It's looked like that for years. They've had Andre Johnson. They've had DeAndre Hopkins. All kinds of stars. J.J. Watt's entire career. J.J. Watt's on the downside of that career. They basically wasted J.J. Watt's entire career. And that guy was the best defender in all of football for how many years?
Yeah, a long time.
And now you're wasting that. And he's apologizing to Deshaun Watson as they walk off the field. Now, we talked about it also last week that the Miami Dolphins was a spot, and they brought it up on ESPN on Sunday to basically copy off us. I think Chris Mortensen used us as a source, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Tua and 2 firsts and 2 seconds. I mean, if you think that he is not happy there, that is probably the best offer you are going to get. Whether anyone's sold on Tua right now or not, you're not getting a better offer than that.
No, you're not. You're not. But I does Miami believe? And we've read. I mean, at least I have. There's been talk. I had three unanimous or anonymous players this week that they don't know if Tua's got it. You know, if Tua can win in their division with the quarterbacks they have. But she said the quarterbacks they have in their division, and I'm thinking,
Josh Allen.
Whoa, what the hell is that the Patriots got? Cam Newton's one of the worst quarterbacks in the whole league, but yeah, I mean, do they not think he's the guy? And I mean, if you're Houston, do you think he's the guy? Houston at this point, you don't know what the hell you think. So if Deshaun Watson says, "Hey, I'm not playing," you better entertain that offer.
You have to. You absolutely.
If they entertain, you better accept.
And the problem is that when you're making these trades, people are like, oh, you should be traded to the Steelers or you should be traded to this team. You have to think salary cap wise. It's just, you just can't trade guys. This isn't Madden where you can like go into settings and turn off salary cap.
$500K. Like,
yeah. You can't go in and edit Deshaun Watson's contract and sign him to a 7-year, $3 million contract. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, enough about the Texans because they are just depressing.
They are.
They are absolutely depressing. Coming up, we're going to bring on Chris at Detroit Beastie, who we bring on every week. Before we do that, check out our merchandise at bonfire.com/store/FCFS-tees. Big week in the shop. We unveiled a new brown shirt, Underdogs t-shirt. Go check that out. Sold pretty well this week. Go get that shirt. Check out the Detroit Beastie t-shirt. Check out whatever you got while Drew's going to get a beer. Check out all the shirts. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on social media at FCFSPod, fb.me/FCFSPod on Facebook. Stuttered through that one. But yeah, we'll bring on Chris in just a little bit here. But before we do that,
why
don't we get into our picks here for the divisional round? We are going to rank the quarterbacks in the divisional round 8-1, 8 being the worst, not necessarily making him bad, but just the worst of what's left. All the way to 1. Drew, you want to start out with your list?
Yeah. So I think 8, Jared Goff has to be in that position. We talked about it. I mean, dude's thumbs. I mean, his throwing thumbs messed up. So
it's a bum thumb.
I mean, Jared Goff would not be landing there, in my opinion, on my list, had he, had a thumb that could even, rotate and put some spin on the ball. I mean, he was, that was a pretty incredible performance by him last week, if you think about it.
Definitely gutsy.
What do you got?
I also have Goff at number 8. And it's the thumb, man. I mean, even though looking at this list, the way I put it out, of the way guys are playing right now, he'd be 8 regardless of whether he was healthy or not, probably. But it's due to the way guys are playing in the league right now. Who you got at number 7?
Lamar Jackson.
Jackson at 7.
Lamar Jackson. Listen, they've been playing better as of late. Mm-hmm. I'm putting Lamar Jackson at 7. I still think that team is going to run into the inability to be able to throw the football. He's still, I mean, he was better throwing the football last year. He's not been great. Not been great recently, but he's been better recently. Mm-hmm. But that team gets down and they're not able to run the ball. We've talked about this. Their Achilles, if they get down in football games, that offense isn't built to just score a bunch of points in fast pace. They're meant to run the ball, establish a run with the RPO with Lamar Jackson, get some play action going. And I just do not think that he has the ability to throw the ball well enough. I've talked about this for years.
I mean, I'm with you on Jackson. He's not at number 7. I have Drew Brees at number 7 because I don't know what I'm going to get out of Drew Brees. Drew Brees has looked really, really old at times. Those ribs might still be bothering him. Is he a great quarterback? Absolutely. Is he playing like a great quarterback? Not so much. All right, moving on to number 6. Who you got?
Drew Brees, for the exact same reasons. For the exact same reasons that you brought up. I was saying put some respect on his name when you said he was on, at 7, but at 6, he's comfortably at 6. Listen, might be it, right? I mean, we've seen arm velocity. It's a dink and dunk offense. Things have been changing. I mean, he hasn't had Michael Thomas all year, which Michael Thomas is perfect for what Drew Brees does at this point of his career. Michael Thomas back healthy now. He had a touchdown, his first touchdown of the season last week. Can you believe that? That's incredible.
Yeah, I had him on fantasy team. It sucked.
Yeah, it's terrible. But for those reasons, I'll put Brees at 6.
And for all the reasons you said Lamar Jackson was 7, I have him at number 6.
Okay.
So, I mean, Lamar had a good showing against the Browns and probably the game of the year. But if you look at it, busted coverage or the fact that they were afraid he was going to run, that's the only reason he completed some of those passes. Marquise Brown wide open because they thought Lamar was going to run. Marquise
Brown was so pissed most of this year because if you had him in fantasy, he would have a game, but then they can't throw the ball. They just can't. They just don't have the ability to throw the ball. I'm sorry.
There's no consistency there. Is Lamar a dangerous weapon? 100%. Is he probably the most dangerous dude on this list?
You see that touchdown run he had?
Yeah.
Where that man just – you saw it.
It's impossible to stop him when he gets in the open field. But he hasn't thrown the football. If you can stop that, which is really hard to do, you can stop Lamar. At number 5, who do you have?
Baker.
That's who I got at number 5 too.
Baker. Listen here, man. Dude's been playing well. The thing that was interesting was we saw Sunday night, right, where they just curb stomped the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was fun. But listen, he got the ball out quick. I'm not saying he was fantastic in that game. He didn't need to be fantastic. He's been hot though lately, man. He's not turning the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
He's being smart with it, getting rid of the ball when he needs to, and he's hitting the right guys on literally getting the ball out of his hands. I think last week might have been one of the games this entire year where he got the ball out of his hands, quicker than the other game. It was quick. It was precise. I think that's kind of how that offense rolls. I think you see a somewhat different offense with Kansas City this week, a little different kind of defense they're going to play.
Yep.
But I think Baker's been sensational. And the thing to me is you don't turn the ball over. You give your team an opportunity to win games. It's that simple. It's really that simple.
You hit it on the head when you said that's not what he needed to be. Because Baker, over the last 9-10 weeks, has been whatever the Browns have needed him to be. Week 17, he wasn't throwing the ball great. What did he win that game with? His legs. Never would have thought we'd say Baker Mayfield got the Cleveland Browns into the playoffs with his legs, because he's not Kyler Murray. He's not Lamar Jackson, clearly. He's barely Tom Brady sometimes with those legs, obviously more athletic than Tom Brady. But Baker, if you look at what he's done this year, one of 3 quarterbacks with 4 games rated at 90 or above by PFF. That's Mahomes, Rodgers, and Baker Mayfield. Baker gets the ball out of his hands quickly. Baker's learning, which is a huge thing. If you look at the touchdown, the 40-yard touchdown to Jarvis Landry, it was the exact same play and the exact same coverage that the pick to Minkah Fitzpatrick for a pick 6 in game 1 where Baker overthrew Odell Beckham. That was the exact same setup, exact same play. This time Baker read it properly. Minkah was at the line of scrimmage, and when he dropped out, Baker saw it and hit Jarvis for a 40-yard scamper. Baker's been everything we've needed him to be and more in Cleveland, and nothing more than that. Who do you have at number 4?
Dude's footwork, Baker's footwork got way better, and he's not overthrowing the ball.
Alex Van
like
Pelt.
he was. I have Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
And Tom Brady is, listen, this has not been like the perfect season for the Buccaneers. I think that defense is underrated, for the record. But listen, it took him a while to get going, but Brady's been hot lately. He's been playing very well. They're starting to get AB involved, which is scary for other teams, because I still think Antonio Brown is
elite.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure as hell is. I listen, Brady's here. Brady's not able to make maybe all the throws he was able, used to. He certainly can't get out of the pocket, but I think he's rolling right now at the right time. And that's what Tom Brady kind of does, right? He always has his team going at the right time. And I think they're heading in the right direction. I'm very excited to watch that game at the Superdome on Sunday.
I think that's definitely the game of the week this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm with you. Tom Brady at number 4. It was really hard to put him here. I had him at number 3 originally, moved him back a spot because the guys ahead of him are just playing so well. Tom, the thing you looked at last week, he was clean. Stayed clean in the pocket, got that ball out quick, and like I said, Antonio Brown coming on, huge for them because he's playing elite football. So you can't go wrong with Tom Brady. Number 3, who you got?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
I think we may or may not have the same top 3 here. Not much to say about Josh Allen besides he's just flat balled out. Stephon Diggs kind of just brought him that security blanket he needed and kind of brought that offense, that crisp, clean route running, knowing a guy's going to be where he's supposed to be. Stephon Diggs has changed everything with that offense. Zach Moss out now, which takes, but I'm going with Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is what Lamar Jackson would be if he could throw the football.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, hard to say, but that's basically what it's come down to. Josh Allen throwing the football maybe as good as anyone. Josh Allen running the football maybe as good as anyone. Josh Allen is in everything for that team.
The fact his completion percentage has jumped like 11 or 12% is one of the most incredible things I've seen in this league. That doesn't work like that. You don't come into the league and and go from has shitty, completion percentage in college and all of a sudden become a 68, 69%, completion percentage. It's incredible.
He never even threw 60% in high school.
It doesn't happen. Like, clearly he's gotten great coaching there in Buffalo, and he's kind of must-watch TV because he's got a freaking cannon.
It's absolutely fun, and it shows you what a guy can do with proper coaching, an excellent system around him. Sean McDermott's been excellent there in Buffalo. So for people who are like, oh, look what he could be here or there. No. Every quarterback is different based on the spot where they are. Josh Allen, with Brian Daboll's help, has improved his accuracy, his footwork. He's getting comfortable. His arm angle still drops from time to time, and you'll see him throw some funky passes, but he's gotten out of that. Josh Allen, one of the few guys who I can say I've been absolutely wrong about in the fact that I always say two things. Never hire the interim, and you can't teach accuracy. Apparently, you can teach accuracy because this guy's totally different. You said it, 12%.
I feel kind of better about Lamar Jackson. Like, remember, like last year, I was like, man,
yeah,
this guy. But now I'm like, maybe he can't throw. Kind of like what I was saying.
I mean, I'm still big on Lamar. He's a hell of a weapon, but Josh Allen is a better quarterback right now when you're going pure quarterback. And I think Baker's better right now, too, obviously based on our rankings here. So we're at number 2. Who do you have at number 2?
Aaron Rodgers, but it's not easy for me to put Aaron Rodgers there right now. If you want to talk about best quarterback in the league, I think you could make that argument. He's been sensational. I think he's the MVP of the league.
Touchdowns, 5 picks.
MVP of the league, in my opinion. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah,
so I think he should be almost unanimous the way he's played.
Yeah, I agree. It sucks. I'm kind of tired of it. I will say it's been refreshing seeing him on McAfee show. He's kind of funny dude in his own like monotone, like chilled out way. But
with
again,
his bad droopy eyes.
Yeah, it's like he's beat my ass like for my team's ass for so long. It's like just numb at this point. I'm like, all right, whatever, man. If you're funny, I guess you could be funny. I'll tune in. But he's had an incredible season.
Not only is he 100% comfortable with who he is, he's 100% comfortable in this offense that he's in. And he's like, hey, you know what? I need some more weapons. I think it would have been fun to have more weapons. Maybe we'd be better. But you're going to draft a quarterback. And you want to draft a quarterback? Yeah, I know I'm 37 years old, but you guys are going to have to make some real tough decisions because my ass is going to ball out until I'm 43 years old.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. All of it sucks.
And number 1, the best quarterback in football right now, Pat Mahomes.
Again, I think, Aaron Rodgers deserves some consideration in that talk as of right now. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with Pat Mahomes.
I mean, Pat Mahomes, best quarterback in football as far as the younger guys. Maybe not playing as well of late. He hasn't played well late. The Chiefs are a team who has not played well of late, but
what are you saying?
We'll talk more about that later. Stay a little longer with us to see where we're going.
Oh, Lord.
But first, we got a brand new segment on the show here. It is officially time for our new segment. Let's make sure I get this stuff right. It's time for our social media stooge of the week. And that award, for the first time, goes to Chase Claypool.
Congratulations, Chase Claypool. Good for you.
Yeah, buddy, Chase Claypool. You are stooge of the week. And it's for this. Let me make sure I get my cursor in the right spot here. Let's listen to what he had to say.
But Browns are gonna get clapped next week, so
you tripping, bro. You tripping.
You absolutely tripping. Browns are getting clapped this week. Might happen. But dude, this is after Juju. I apparently forgot to turn off the audio here. Give me a second.
I can't hear it.
Oh, even better.
I have something to say.
Say it.
The Browns were classless. No, I'm just kidding. but listen, this is the guy's defense is, and listen, he's a young fella, right? He's a young ass kid. He's a rookie in this league, and he's a pretty phenomenal one too. But to say that you guys were classless when his teammate does like a weird ass dance on the other team's logo and just kind of talk shit throughout the week, I don't think we can call that a classless loss. The Browns doing the little Corvette thing on the sidelines at the end of the game, that is the greatest thing ever for a Cleveland Browns fan because they can just shove it right up their ass, in my opinion, Nobody gives a damn. All that Juju Smith-Schuster has turned into just a TikTok guy. Like, listen, played a decent game. He talked shit, played a decent game, but again, and I heard Joe Thomas say this on the radio this morning. This puts your team in not your team necessarily, but when you're the Steelers, everybody around you is like, man, why? There's why we got to this dude's acting like an ass, and we have to stand up for it. Listen. They lost. They're clearly sore. I mean, it's gotten ugly. It's gotten embarrassing. Chase Claypool, young player, fantastic player. It's time to shut up and just enjoy the offseason at this point.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm trying to reply to Chris. He says he's running late, but we will wait for him because the guy brings the heat every day or every time he comes on.
No problems.
And we need our DFS talk because we got to know who to play. We got to know who to make money with. He hit Gabe Davis last week. But as far as Chase Claypool, dude, the Corvette dance, the Steelers want to talk about all this stuff with, the Browns is the Browns and the gray faces. And there's a longer quote on there where we talked about the gray faces. I tweeted about it. The gray faces is a Mike Tomlin thing. That's why the Browns couldn't be mad about that. The gray faces, Mike Tomlin always says that.
The Browns can be mad about whatever the hell they want to be mad about.
Then Chase Claypool's like, I don't even think that was a quote. That's why I hate the media because I think he said great faces across from us. No, bro. It just shows you're not even listening to your head coach.
And Cleveland Browns have a bunch of great faces. That team.
That's a good face right there.
You've seen their chiseled jawbone there. That team's got some great faces over there.
That Blake Hance, what a face. We didn't even recognize it. But come on now. At this point, take the L, boys. Take the L.
It's funny. My wife, who doesn't know anything about football, right? Of course, her family, is all big Browns fans. She says, "Hey, were the Browns, were they being, showing no class when they lost or whatever?" And she's like, "I heard they were dancing on the sideline." I'm like, "Yeah, that's nothing about no class. You can't say they didn't show no class. You don't dance on logos. You don't talk shit to the other team during the week. That's called getting your ass whooped. And that's called basking in glory of love.
Absolutely.
Beating a team's ass that really is kind of demoralized all your feelings for 20 years. So
for as long as I can remember,
there was nothing classless about that. That was joy and celebration that deserved to happen. And I was, of course, the game was over. I went to sleep before the Corvette dancing because I'm old as shit. But of course, I saw it the next day, and I had a big smile on my face because a lot of people like you that I know deserve that moment. And that's cool, and I appreciated that. And I mean, it seemed like destiny. I mean, they gave you like 28 points in like 2 minutes. So it was just basically hold on to the.
It started out with the snap and the bad snap, and I'm like, "Oh, you got your first teamers in now. What do you think?" Because their fans were talking so much smack, and they were already moved on to Buffalo.
Well, it was like that on that snap. It was almost like neither Roethlisberger or Connor wanted to get the football. They just kind of looked at it.
You gonna get it? And Carl Joseph's like, "Nah, man, I got it. It's cool."
Yeah.
But for the Browns, the thing that made it not classless. Yeah, they said shit on the field, which happens. Everyone talks on the field.
It's a rivalry game, by the way.
No. I mean, it's hard to call it a rivalry the way it's been one side, but when the team that's been beaten to death,
still there though. I mean,
it's still there. Absolutely.
Myles Garrett hit a dude in the head with the helmet last year. Like this shit's real. Like the Browns are terrible, but it's still a rivalry. They still hit the shit out of each other and hate each other. It's just the Browns always lose.
Browns go in the locker room. They do the Corvette dance, and they're talking shit on Juju even more. But Juju, you put yourself in that situation. Claypool, I understand trying to stick up your teammate, but you're in the wrong here. Take the L and move on because by Monday,
he's a young
Browns Monday morning, and the first thing they're thinking about is Kansas City. They were already – Pittsburgh was in the rearview mirror. Classless is keeping it up all week and going out and talking about it all week long, and they're not.
It's
now the Browns got –
I'm sure we'll talk about the Browns later.
We are.
I know we just got our teams. We start talking about them. We just go sideways, man. Hey, but it was hilarious. And Brown, like if I could do the Corvette, I'd be doing the Corvette too on their graves because they just like listen. Sometimes T.O. went to the center of the star in Dallas, and the second time he got popped. And so you can't tell me that dancing all over. Oh, that's my pregame routine, son. That's disrespectful, and it's just the way it is. And everybody's like, "Oh, you're disrespecting pain on the field." Well, it's not like we know what this is. Come on, why are we doing this here?
The Titans did that earlier in the season against the Ravens, and right after the Ravens picked off a Tannehill pass that basically ended that game, they danced on the Titans logo.
They did, and they
logos are basically sacred. Don't dance on them. Don't do that, or it's going to come back to haunt you. And it has for every team that's done it this year. And now the Browns get to move on, and they got Sammy Watkins talking smack where he thinks they can't call them competition. We'll see. We'll get into that later. We are waiting on Chris to come on here in just a little bit. We'll talk our fantasy.
He said that he can't call them competition?
No, he said you got a competition. He said something about I don't think you can even call them that yet. Whatever. It's Sammy Watkins. The guy was supposed to be a legendary wide receiver. It was like the 4th overall pick. He's kind of been a bust. And he's hurt all the time.
Where'd he go to college? That team that got their ass clapped by the Buckeyes. Even though we can't talk too much shit now. We got our ass clapped too. But listen.
Did you stay up for the entire game?
Buckeye game?
Yeah.
No, fuck no, I didn't. They were getting waxed. It was like the end of the 3rd quarter. I'm like, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm not doing this. This isn't.
Dude, listen, I got a text 38-24. They're like, oh, they're back in it. I'm like, nah, man, this game is over.
I can tell when a game's over. Like Ohio State wasn't even like it was done. It was just Alabama was just way better than Ohio State.
I picked Bama last week. I didn't like doing it. I do not want to pick Bama. I don't like picking Bama. I never want to go against Ohio State, but Bama was that damn good.
That's a good Bama team.
It is. It may be.
Mac Jones is going to be overdrafted because of that Bama team.
Hey, you want a game manager? That's your guy. That's all he's going to be. Because he had a perfect offensive line and so many weapons. And this reminds me of something I thought of earlier this week.
Devin Smith still catching football.
Yeah, Devontae Smith just going off. EA Sports, do whatever it takes, whatever you got to do. Charge us $100 pop. Bring back NCAA football because I need to play 2020 Alabama against 2019 LSU to see who wins that game. If that game was played, who wins that game, Drew?
Well, you had me. I was just thinking like I'd pay $150 for a copy of an NCAA 20. What game? LSU against Alabama.
Yeah, LSU last year with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Clyde Edwards.
Yeah. I would take LSU, to be honest with you. And the reason I would, because I think the quarterback for LSU is the real deal, where I think Mac Jones is. But I mean, I'm just thinking about the college football game, man. They got to do it. We deserve this. We deserve it. Do you think the college football game would fly off the shelves like PS5s and Xbox?
It would be impossible to get because everyone on Twitter that I follow, and I follow like 2,000.
Everybody wants it.
We all want it.
Yep.
You know that there's an entire there's like huge leagues of NCAA 14, which is the last game came out 8 years ago.
You'll pay $150, $300 for NCAA 14 right now.
It's unbelievable, and they do roster updates, and people will pay $20 a year to get roster updates on that game.
I would do it. Yeah, of course you would.
I mean, that game
the graphics are terrible. It's all no, I know.
Yeah. Could you imagine a next-gen console version of that?
Are we heading in that direction though? With the the opportunities for collegiate players to start making $1 or $2 off name and likeness. I feel like we have to be heading in that direction.
Jeez.
But literally, Trump, before you're out of office, dude, save NCAA 14 or not 14, save NCAA video games.
Bring back NCAA football, and I'll storm the Capitol for your ass. All right,
you brought back to Big Ten, dude. Let's go. Like, this is your time. We got 6 days. We got 6 days to make this happen.
That's it. That's all we want.
That's all we're asking for. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your politics.
People will be like, was the Trump presidency a success? Absolutely. He brought back NCAA football. I'm still playing with my wheelchair.
We all bleed the NCAA football game. We all are in the middle with that, man. Nobody's making it happen. All right.
Did not expect to go off on this tangent. Let's get into our game picks here while we're waiting on Chris to come in. Let's go with the first game of the week, and this is Saturday, live from Lambeau, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
There's Saturday games?
11 and 6.
11?
11 and 6. Green Bay Packers take on the 13 and 3.
It's like an 11? I'm like, why the hell would there be a game? All right, I'm
The
sorry.
13 and 3 Packers starts at 4:35 p.m. Eastern time. So we're at 4:35. The Rams and Jared Goff's busted up hand go into the frozen tundra, face A-Rod, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and the Green Bay Packers. Who you like in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Packers with Jared Goff having a bionic hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're just playing really, really well, man. Aaron Rodgers, what do you say? You draft a quarterback and just piss him off, and he's been phenomenal with I mean, Devontae Adams is incredible, right? But like outside of that, I mean, of course you have Aaron Jones. They've H.E. Dillon, people thought there for a week was like the next Jerome Bettis. But I mean, listen, that team does that. He's just playing at such a high level. His ability to control the line of scrimmage is incredible as well. And it's just gotten so, I mean, the dude has, so I saw a statistic that said like he had like quadruple the amount of free plays off audibles than anybody else in the league. Holy shit. We're really close in those picks.
Both 3 and 4 last week, by the way.
Yeah, wow. You know, it's not important. We're on to this. We're on to Cincinnati. But no, I like it. Give me Rodgers. I don't even have to say much more. Give me Rodgers. I know that Rams defense is phenomenal. Aaron Rodgers is better.
Rodgers is phenomenal. And listen, this team is set up the way they are playing football, regardless of who their first round pick is.
Hold up a trophy.
They are good enough to win and hold up the trophy. However, if you look at matchups and the way teams can match up with them, Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey. It's going to be a fun matchup. If anyone can shut down Devontae Adams, it's Jalen Ramsey.
I completely agree.
Aaron Jones, if anyone can shut him down, it's Aaron Donald. However, even with a bionic hand, Jared Goff, like you said, is not keeping up with Aaron Rodgers because he'll find guys who we've never heard of.
Yeah.
They find guys with serial killer names. They always have 3 names. Marquez Valdez.
Everybody has 3 names over there. You have to have 3 names. It's the only they won't even bring you in for a tryout if you don't have 3 names.
They got Robert Tonyan who comes out of nowhere to catch like 11 touchdowns.
Greatest tight end that the league's ever seen.
I mean, yeah, he's the next Ozzie Newsome. We were talking about, Brad Holmes might be the next Ozzie Newsome. We're talking about Ozzie Newsome on the field with Robert Tonyan. This could be closer than a lot of people think. It could be.
Sure.
But it's also LA playing in the frozen tundra. The Packers are going to win this game. Yeah. But it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be closer than people think. And this is a 4:30 kickoff on Saturday. Give us that game. Not 11. Not 11. I got to find my cursor here.
I would actually like that to be 11.
I mean, it would be kind of cool. You could stay up for the whole thing.
Give me a 10 a.m. game and a 2 p.m. game, and I'll get the early bird special.
And this is a Fox game with Kevin Burkhardt, Daryl Johnston, and Pam Oliver. Daryl Johnson, who still has my most ridiculous quote of the year with the whole fact that Carson Wentz wasn't good because Doug Peterson and him didn't have the same Christian beliefs. And that's why Carson Wentz has gone downhill. But yeah.
Dude, Doug Peterson put a Christian curse on his ass, dude. What do you want me to say to you? I mean, the Calvin Johnson has a curse on us. I don't know what else to say.
Lions need to get back in touch with Calvin and bring him back into the building. And you said they have, right?
No.
I thought they had for some reason.
They reported they have, and then Calvin Johnson was like, "No, nobody talked to me." And it's like, "Oh yeah, here we go."
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It was another one of the reported things.
Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, we're real good looking. Oh yeah, we're gonna get in touch with Calvin, and Calvin's like, "Nobody talked to me." It's like, okay, perfect.
And while we're talking Packers, and we'll get back to Packers and Rams here before we get back on the Lions or Browns. Who are the 3 highest rated quarterback single season passer rating of all time? Top 3 single season passer rating
of all time. I have no idea. I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning.
You can stop right there.
Am I wrong?
On that? No, you hit it. Oh. Aaron Rodgers, 2011, a 122.5 rating. Aaron Rodgers, 2020, a 121.5 rating. and Peyton in 2004 121.1. So basically, it's Rodgers, and then Peyton. That's how good Aaron Rodgers has been this year, and that's 9 years since the last time. That's how consistently good this guy has been for the most part.
Hey, tell me about it, dude. Tell me about it.
He is that's how I feel with Ben Roethlisberger. Like, that's why it was such a relief to see the Browns finally beat that guy.
Yeah, but he's better than Ben Roethlisberger, which is even more great.
He is. He's absolutely better. But the way they've just beaten up on our teams for what feels like 40 years.
It shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be mathematically possible. With your
in a league that is set up for teams to basically be even every year and get good, our teams manage to say, hey, math and statistics don't matter. We're going to just be bad.
I feel like we play Boston in LA in the Yankees in MLB with no salary cap, and we're like the Florida Marlins. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there may be a salary cap, but it sure as hell doesn't feel like it.
Nope. Moving on to the nightcap of the Saturday NFL action, 8:15 kickoff from Buffalo, Orchard Park, baby. There are going to be people getting thrown through tables. It is going to be an excellent time because for the first time in 25 years, the Buffalo Bills are in the divisional playoff round. They will take on the 12-5 Baltimore Ratbirds, the Ravens. This game. The last time these two teams met, December 8th, 2019, Ravens 24, Bills 17, and that was in Orchard Park. The Bills playoff record lifetime 15-17.
Throw it out.
Baltimore Ravens lifetime 16-10. Tells you how good the Ravens have been because they've only been around for 25 years. Yeah, insane. Funny. Who you like in this game?
Here we go, Buffalo. I like the Bills, man. I like the Bills. I think they're destined to at least face off with the Browns or the Chiefs. Listen, man, that's a fun team. I think they're playing at a high level. They kind of started off a little shaky last week, a little playoff nerves, but I'm taking Buffalo. And I'm going to fall back on the fact that I'm not confident with Lamar Jackson, his ability to throw the ball consistently.
We've talked all year about how the Buffalo Bills defense has not been that great, but they have stepped up of late. They've been really good of late. They've definitely improved. I mean, they struggled the second half last week, but that's Phillip Rivers, and Phillip's always going to come back on you, especially in the playoffs, and then not get it done in the end. That's just what he's always done.
Except with the kids.
I mean, yeah.
The end of that.
I mean, that's one of those what you couldn't pull out of a driveway kind of thing. That's definitely Phillip Rivers.
It's the truth.
So many kids, man. So many kids. He's got as many kids as Lamar Jackson has rushing yards. Almost. Lamar, 2019 at 1,206 yards. Went over 1,000 yards again this year. But like we said earlier, the arm just hasn't been there. But can the Bills stop this three-headed monster of J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Lamar Jackson? That is a tough matchup. Now, Mark Ingram,
is he?
I think he might be.
Big. Remember, he was the one in the press conference.
Big trust, baby. Big trust.
Yeah, this is J.K. Dobbins' team as far as the backfield. I mean, you got the Gus bus, which you like, but again, and we talked about this. They had their ability to run 3 tight end sets consistently last year, made them a way better offensive team, and they just haven't been able to do that with the guys they have. It's a different offense. I'm taking the Bills.
I want to say that the Bills should win this game easily because I think they're playing better football all around. But that rushing attack, man, it's just so tough to stop. And I'm going to pick the Bills anyway because I can't pick the Ratbirds. I can't pick the Ratbirds. I just can't see them going in. And I understand they have the experience. They're playing at their best football right now. But you're right. The Bills just feel like a team destined to keep moving on. And who doesn't want Buffalo to win? Outside of Baltimore, is there anybody who doesn't want Buffalo to win? I just can't see it.
I feel like everybody's kind of holding on to Buffalo and Cleveland right now. And we're like, come on, babies. Make it a Cleveland-Buffalo AFC championship because you know what? Those two fan bases outside of maybe mine, you could argue, deserve some shit like that. Now that you guys won a playoff game, which it felt like you guys were winning a playoff game on house money to begin with, right?
Uh-huh.
Nobody gave you guys so now you're playing with serious. I love that the Cleveland media. They asked Baker, "Do you guys think you're playing with house money?" Like, what the fuck is he supposed to say? Oh yeah, I'm playing with house money. Like, oh yeah, like no quarterback would ever say that.
You know what this national run is doing for the Browns right now? Showing how poor the media around Cleveland really is. And that's sad to say because most of these people have been here a long time, and there's a lot of really bad reporters in Cleveland.
Dangerous one.
Dangerous one who wouldn't even respond to us multiple times. We've reached out to Dangerous Daryl Ryder, and he's ignored us every time. So, Daryl, if you're scrolling through Twitter and you see this, respond to us.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. That's all I ask. I don't want you to necessarily come on if you don't want to, but say, hey, I can't come on. If you don't want to come on, don't.
Yeah.
But hit us back. This game, no Zach Moss, you said.
Yeah, he's out.
Devin Singletary. If they shut down the weapons outside, if they're able to shut down Gabriel Davis, if they're able to shut down the Ravens, able to shut down Stephon Diggs, maybe not hold him completely scoreless, but at least keep him in check.
I could argue Stephon Diggs.
Josh Allen make enough plays, right? The way he's played this year.
Diggs is top 3 in the league right now. As
The
far
way
as
he's played this year, 100%.
I mean, he led the league in receptions, receiving yards. Stephon Diggs is the difference in that team. Absolutely, Josh Allen can make plays. Give me Josh Allen, like we talked about earlier, over Lamar Jackson. And I'm going to take the guy under center that I feel more confident in. That's Josh Allen.
I'm with you. What is the final score of this game?
Ooh, I'd say the final score is 31-24. 31-24. Bills.
27-24 on that Bills.
All right.
So I'm with you. I think it's going to be tighter, though. Can't go wrong with that.
I love playoff games, by the way. I hope it's a good game. Like,
we don't want blowouts.
No.
I mean, I wanted the Browns game last week to be a blowout, but they couldn't even do that for me, and my fat ass was having heart palpitations in the third quarter.
I was worried about you, dude. I was
thank you.
In a life alert. I really was. I mean,
thank you to Mike Tomlin for punting on 4th and 1.
Are you doing okay, man? Like, how are you feeling right now? You're like, you guys could have been up 100-0, and you were still not. You were still going to have, heart issues.
Jason Lloyd posted on Twitter, Browns fans, just for my own amusement.
What would you
How far would you have to be ahead to feel comfortable? And most Browns fans are like 1,400-0 with 0-0-0 on the clock.
Those
and
comments
were still like, eh.
The comments were gold. And they said the next day just to make sure there wasn't like a point correction or some shit. Oh, man.
When your team is screwed up so many times and you just expect it. Like, there was a question today that I heard. Would you rather the Browns be up 28-0 at the end of the first quarter or down 6 with 3 minutes to go and have the ball? And Browns fans are like, being down 6 with the ball, 3 minutes left, that's not so bad because we're so tortured with having the lead. But then even having the ball with 3 minutes left, down 6, you're thinking, oh, shit, how are they going to blow this? I mean, you understand it. And you said it exactly. Our teams and the Buffalo Bills. Basically, if your city touches Lake Erie, your team is in some shit and has struggled. We will be joined shortly here by Chris, by the way. He'll be here in about 2 minutes, he said.
It's tough, man, because if you think about it, like for Buffalo, they've had it hard. It's that fan base is a diehard fan base, but at the same time, it's like things are changing in their division. It's almost like the Buffalo Bills have just been like, even if they were decent, like Brady and the Patriots would have owned them. And they have in the years that they have been decent. It just feels like, I'm telling you, man, Stephon Diggs has changed that offense and is made it very fun to watch. I'm going to walk behind and get a beverage while we're waiting on Chris.
Go get it.
If you want to, elaborate on how awesome the Lions hire was.
I will elaborate on how awesome the Lions hire was because I, like Brad Holmes, think it was a good hire. However, I will also elaborate on the show. Full Coverage Football Show, FB.me/FCFS pod. Check out our sponsors, Manhattan Deli Menor, 440-974-0055. Check out Concealed Carry Firearms Training, 440-391-4118. And Kitty Cove Daycare at Kitty Cove OH on Facebook. And you will hear our new sponsor coming up later on Ward's Wagers, which, Drew's going to kill that segment especially since he's in a good mood because Brad Holmes is going to be the man who leads the Detroit Lions to the playoffs by 2022. I'm flat out dropping that right now. It's coming.
We'll see.
Carlo, go Browns. Absolutely go Browns. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. Let's go, Browns. Can't wait for Sunday. That's going to be a fun game. I'm trying to hold off talking about that game because I know we're going to talk about that a little bit and probably run a little late tonight, but we are waiting on Chris. Let's see if he's going to appear here in a minute or two. We'll slow it down because you're also probably going to talk Lions with him when he comes on because Chris is also a Lions fan. Give Chris a follow at Detroit Beastie on Twitter. Check him out. Just give him a follow. He follows back. He's an excellent player on DFS. Are the Browns getting clapped? I am going to save that, so hang on, all you watchers and listeners, because I am not saying a word about that game just yet.
Oh, man.
I do have some thoughts on it. Just a few. But let's just get in. Let's skip the Browns right now and get into the nightcap, probably the game of the week, and that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome to face the New Orleans Saints. This might be the last time we ever see Tom Brady against Drew Brees.
I think for sure that is true. I think Brees is I agree.
I mean, this probably we're both on that. It's probably the last time we'll see him. 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, 2 great quarterbacks, top 2 quarterbacks basically in every stat we're looking at, basically in NFL history. Drew Brees comes in. He's got the home field advantage, but it's not the same. It's not like the dome is packed.
60,000 quarantine fans.
I mean, I love that idea. I love that idea by Sean Payton, always thinking outside the box. It would have been excellent to see that, but it didn't happen. It's not happening. Alvin Kamara coming back off COVID. How's he going to be? Michael Thomas, like we said, hasn't been Michael Thomas this year. And the Bucs, this feels like, they've gotten their asses handed to them by the Tampa Bay by the Saints. Yeah, that's what I said. I think I got it right that time. I was going back and forth on it and also reading something else. Who do you like in this game, man?
I like Brady.
You like Brady?
The reason you mentioned for me, it's the way that AB's coming on, the way that offense is coming on, that defense. We know with Ndamukong Suh and the boys up front, they can get some penetration. Breeze, listen, no quarterback in this game has to be worried about being outside of the pocket, right? We know that this is going to be played, but the way that in New Orleans, you're right, has had Tampa Bay's number. However, I think it changes here. I think the way that these teams are playing, I love the way the offense has looked in Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the Bucs here, and I'm going to take the Bucs at somewhere at 31-28. I think it's going to be a good game. I hope it's a good game. Oh, sweet.
Kim taking a bet.
How much are we betting, Kim? $10.
We got bets going down before Ward's wagers here.
I'm willing to go all the way up to 20, anywhere between 5 and 20. You let me know, and we'll say she wants Drew Brees. I respect it.
Listen, I want to take Drew Brees. I think the Saints have a better defense. Both these defenses are pretty good, but I would take the Saints defense the way they've been playing of late. But Tom Brady, the way he is playing, oh man, your bet's on.
All right.
So we have a bet now outside of Ward's wagers. We got Kim versus Drew.
Yeah.
Bucs and Saints. We going.
My mother, I can't hide from her if I owe her money. I literally can't.
She knows where you live. She's seen where you sleep. She will get that money. Anyway, I am also going to take the Bucs here, man. I want to take the Saints, but I just haven't seen enough out of that team to put it all together right now. The way the Bucs are playing, Antonio Brown coming on, you got Mike Evans. There's just so much going on there. And Drew Brees is excellent, and this is going to suck if it's his last game. But, man, come on now. The way Tom Brady plays in the playoffs and with all these weapons, it is just – we talk about it's, destiny for the Bills. Tom Brady's on a mission, and I think the Bucs win this game.
Can you imagine if he won another ring? God,
no, I don't want him to win another game or win or anything.
I'm tired of his shit tired of him winning. Like let somebody else take over here.
I mean, he's 43 years old and he keeps rolling. And now we are going to welcome at Detroit Beastie on to talk fantasy football. Check out his work at dfscheatsheet.com. Be sure to follow him on Twitter. So let's bring Chris on. Brother Chris, how you doing tonight?
Great. Thanks for having me. Sorry for the delay. There was
Hey, all good.
not a scheduling conflict, but I was on a previous broadcast. They had asked me on months ago, and we finally were able to get it done. So I know I could count on you guys to not be a dick.
We're just happy to have you, man. We're just happy to have you.
Thank you
So
so
what do you
much.
think about the go ahead.
No, I was in the waiting room, in the green. I was in the green room of your show, like getting some, treats there. And I heard you mentioning why do they keep winning? Let someone else win. Who were you guys talking about?
Tom Brady.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, he's gonna keep winning, so
I
That's
know.
what we said.
that
You
one,
picked him.
It's too bad, to be honest with you. But we were actually saying just how like the Tampa Bay seems to be coming into form a little bit now. Their offense is kind of clicking. We were kind of touching on that New Orleans game, and it just seems like the show just continues to go on with Brady, and he always finds a way to have it clicking at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what makes him, I believe, the greatest quarterback of all time, probably the greatest football player of all time. And I know there's a certain group of people that always argue it's all about the championships, it's all about the rings, and I'd like to think that Tom Brady, in a way, he's done it all. Why not just retire from New England and call it a career? You're the best ever already. But I believe going to Tampa was kind of like an ego thing to show people or to prove people that he can win elsewhere. It's about him and his prep and whatever he does. It's not necessarily about an organization or a coach in Belichick. It's about him as a football player. And so far, so good. I mean, let's be honest here in terms of what they're doing in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he definitely has the weapons too. What do you think about the Lions hire today?
I liked it. A guy that it wasn't even on my radar, but so I won't even start to, talk about it like I know everything about him. But it was a good hire after looking into some of the things he did. He's forward thinking. He's a critical thinker. It's not. He's got some very good. How can I put this? Scouting chops, right? Like that's what he's done. Like he's really good. Recognizing kids. And placing value on them in terms of a real life organization and where to select these said kids. And that's the kind of thing that the Lions need. They've been awful, unbelievably awful at drafting for how long? It's been all those second round linebackers, not one of them worked out. The ones that do work out, they cut them. And like Van Noy, they cut Van Noy and he's the starting middle linebacker in the Super Bowl for the Patriots. So the ones that are good, that hit, they get rid of them. The ones that they keep, are awful here. So maybe he can kind of change that. And I hate to talk. I'm so sick of talking culture when it comes to the Lions. I mean, that's just that's low hanging fruit. Like that's the easy route when you talk about the Lions. But hopefully our new GM can kind of change what they're doing in terms of bringing kids in and where even free agents. So I'm excited now. It's time to go out and hit a home run with our head coach.
Absolutely. And who you like to hit a home run this weekend in DFS?
I have several guys for you, highlighted and ready to go per usual here.
Playoff time.
If you look at as we go along in the playoffs here, they're smaller and smaller slates. So this weekend there's only 4 games here. So your options, you're not going to be able to get like a super cheap quarterback that does well. I mean, Josh Allen, I believe, actually Patrick Mahomes is the most expensive quarterback on the slate at $9,200 on FanDuel. $8,000 on DraftKings. But the one guy that I like of all the quarterbacks playing this weekend, aside from Lamar Jackson, given the fact he's only $8,000, and I'm not saying this to gas you up, Jeremy, but it's Baker Mayfield. Cleveland goes to Kansas City. Kansas City is 25th overall against opposing quarterbacks. He's only $7,400 on FanDuel, $5,300 on DraftKings. And again, Jeremy, you probably know all this stuff, but whatever is going on in Cleveland right now, it's magical. It's the kind of what championship, what Super Bowl dreams are made of here, right? They're hitting on all cylinders They're playing very well at the perfect time. I mean, they beat Pittsburgh at home. They didn't just beat them; they kind of bent them over. They bent them over. You know,
Clap that
it
ass.
was
Yeah, they clapped that ass. Yep.
and I mean, you guys in Cleveland Brown fans, you personally, Jeremy, you guys deserve this. And it's just a nice kind of move where, you know, if Cleveland can do this, if Cleveland can put this together, you know, then the Lions can. I mean, you'd like to think at this stage in the game, Cleveland has lapped the Lions. I mean, Lions went 0-16 first. So Cleveland has been just as sucky, but they've been just behind how sucky the Lions have been. And here we are, you know, Cleveland is playing in the divisional round in Kansas City. So it's going to be an uphill battle for them in real life. But in terms of DFS, you kind of have to throw that out. I don't care. I've said it all season. I don't really care who wins the game in real life. I want points and all that from there. And Baker, he's probably a lock for, you know, a couple hundred yards and 3 touchdowns here. And in bottom of the barrel, if you remember correctly, you know, it was a screenshot of the box score last time Patrick Mahomes and Baker got together. I believe Baker threw 7 touchdowns in that game. That was
66-59 win.
Yeah, so if that's a microcosm for anything we're going to see on Sunday, they play on Sunday, then count me all in, and you'll get to know bottom of the barrel this weekend. You know, it's a lot of stacks. As I said, it's a smaller slate, so there's little to no room for error, if that makes any sense. You cannot, I mean, let's say week 12, right? There's 17 games playing, right? It's okay. You can get away with a goose egg in your lineup, right? You can be okay with a 0.0 here, but on this go around 4 games, so 8 teams, you cannot have a 0 in your lineup here. So we have to kind of hit on all cylinders in our DFS lines here. So Baker Mayfield I'm going to have a large exposure to him this weekend here. And in terms of running backs, I mean, there's about a dozen running backs that I like, but the stack that I like most is Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins. Who would have thought? 2 rookie running backs leading the charge in the divisional round of the playoffs. So Akers, the Rams go to Green Bay, which I don't think they win, but Green Bay is 27th overall against opposing running backs. So Cam Akers, he's probably, you know, he's a lock for 20 carries, right? That's what he's done the last like 4 or 5 weeks in a row here. So Green Bay is not good against opposing running backs. He's only $7,000 on FanDuel, and he's $5,700 on DraftKings. So get Cam Akers in your lineup, and even J.K. Dobbins. Baltimore goes to Buffalo. Buffalo's 23rd overall against opposing running backs. J.K. is $6,500 on FanDuel, and he's $6,000 on DraftKings. And if you look at the games, you know, of the running backs here, there's potential for major points, major touchdowns, just a ton of yardage in this one. Baltimore and Buffalo have been lights out, especially Buffalo, all season on the offensive side of things. So I'm going to get Baker Mayfield in my lineup, and then I'm going to stack him with Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins. And I might think about Kareem Hunt in my flex too. If you look at it, Kareem Hunt is $6,200 on FanDuel, and he's $4,800 on DraftKings. So far, if you're paying attention at home, write these down, and we can get them in your lineup. They will fit. I built my lineup this exact way that I'm telling you now. So Baker, Cam, JK, Kareem in your flex, and then look to get a little Gabe Davis in your lineup. The rookie wide receiver from the Buffalo Bills, Baltimore's 5th overall against opposing wide receivers. He's $5,400 on FanDuel, $4,000 even on DraftKings. Now, another wide receiver who I believe could have a fantastic game, but his ownership is going to be very low, and that's Cooper Kupp for the Rams here. He's got a little bit of bursitis in his knee. It's not life-threatening. It's not career-threatening. It's just like a little bit of soreness right on your tendon, right on your kneecap there. He didn't play last week, if I remember correctly. So a lot of people won't be on Cooper Kupp here, and they're going to Green Bay. And another reason, so you got the injury concerns, bursitis, and the fact that they're going to Green Bay, and Jair Alexander is, the Packers stud cornerback. But I firmly believe that, Jair Alexander is he's going to be floating around a little bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if he shadowed Robert Woods, just for the simple fact that Cooper Kupp is he limited? Who knows? I'm all in on Cooper Kupp this weekend. I think you guys should too. As I said, $6,100 on FanDuel, $5,300 on DraftKings. And as we turn the page here, Jarvis and Richardigans. It goes it's all about stacking for me this weekend. Everybody's going to be on Kansas City. Everybody's going to be on Buffalo. Everybody is also going to be on Baltimore. I don't think a lot of people are going to be, it's fun. It's a hot topic to talk about Baltimore, to look cool on social media. But are you going to put your money where your mouth is in terms of your DFS plays this weekend? So Landry, they go to Kansas City. As I've said, Kansas City is second overall against opposing wide receiver. But again, as I've said, Baker and Jarvis they've been on one recently. I said those exact words in the article here. So, sometimes you just can't step in the way of destiny, or when you have momentum here, there's nothing you can do to stop that train when it's moving here. So Landry is $6,900 on FanDuel, $5,600 on DraftKings. And if you look at Higgins, very cheap, $5,300 on FanDuel, $4,100 on DraftKings. So if you get into a situation where you're building your lines and you're like, I don't have enough money for Landry and I'm not really married to the idea, pop in Higgins. It's going to
Hollywood.
He's going to be okay. Higgins is going to be okay. And again, if we move on to, you mentioned Hollywood, he was on my radar, but I believe he's just above the price range for bottom of the barrel here. And I know you can kind of throw all those things out because it's only, 4 games, go all in. It's not a big deal, but Hollywood is on my radar, but he just didn't fit the mold this weekend. I love the idea. Actually, Hollywood is in a lot of my lineups this weekend after I punched in, some of the Cleveland players in my optimizer. Hollywood filled in all those blank spots, if that makes any sense here. And in terms of a tight end this weekend, I mean, I wouldn't even consider any other tight ends other than Robert Tonyan and Austin Hooper this weekend. So Tonyan, Green Bay Packers, he scored 14 touchdowns this weekend, this season. I believe he gets to 15, maybe 16 so far. $6,200 on FanDuel, $4,200 on DraftKings. Now, he's a little bit more expensive than we'd like for a tight end, but again, 4 games left in the season. It's time to go all in. It's no time to get cute. Why get cute at this stage of the game? So if we've learned anything in this broadcast so far, can't get a 0 and don't get cute. Other than that, you're good here. And Austin Hooper, $5,500 on FanDuel, $3,800 on DraftKings, and Kansas City is 30th overall against opposing tight ends. So that's all I have for you boys. If any of you want the full list, it's out now on my Twitter at Detroit Beastie. So we've been cruising so far this season. It's been a fantastic ride with you guys here so far this season, and it's not done yet. We got Championship Sunday and then the Super Bowl. So
exciting.
Look forward to 2 more bottom of the barrels this season here, guys.
Can't wait for those. I mean, go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, no, I mean, Chris, of course, man, we appreciate everything coming on with us. I mean, you've made some people some money. We've had a good time. Just before we get you out of here real quick, you want to pick the wild card games? Or not the wild card games. You want the divisional games?
Absolutely. I got everything right here in front of me.
All right. You take in just straight up without even the spread. Rams, Green Bay.
Green Bay, not close.
Baltimore at Buffalo.
I think Baltimore does it. They got over the Schneid last week. And then again, destiny or momentum is it's going to be a thing.
Browns traveling to Arrowhead.
I'm going Cleveland in this one. I know it's not sexy. It's not hot, but I think Cleveland, there's something going on there. And when you see it, it's not something that you can touch. It's not something that you can hold on to, but you can see it. And whatever Cleveland is doing right now, it's special. Very special.
What about Tampa Bay at New Orleans, man?
Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay really takes it to New Orleans this weekend.
Chris, brother, appreciate you as always. Look forward to seeing you next week, man. Enjoy the divisional card weekend, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks so much for having me. I'll talk soon.
We do want to mention stack. Don't get cute. You can't get a 0.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to throw you off when I said Hollywood. I was talking to Hollywood Higgins. I forgot about Hollywood Brown.
I'd like to think I'm not quite like a professional in terms of broadcasting and writing and doing DFS, but at least I carry myself as such. So they say, dress for the job you want. I'm going to act for the job I want. I'm professional, guys.
We appreciate it, brother.
We'll see you.
All right, man. Thanks again.
Awesome to have Chris on. Dude, he picks the Browns. So for those of you watching who watch the show every week, or listen to it. Chris kills it with his takes. Gabe Davis last week, everyone was putting all the other Bills receivers in. Gabe Davis 485-1. We tweeted it out. We saw that. And if Chris is right and the Browns beat the Chiefs, it might be Chris and Drew next week because my fat ass may have a heart attack here and not make it to the next show. Or I'll just be doing it from a hospital bed if I survive. They'd be like, hey, you can't get any visitors. And I'll be like, I get the whole world on the full coverage football show. Let's move on. Chris kicked ass. Remember, stack, can't get a 0. Don't get cute. You want to win the money. You go that way. We'll give you more chance to win money just a little bit later on here with Ward's Wagers. Let's get into the Browns and the Chiefs, our last game to pick.
Take it away.
Oh,
Take
man.
it away, King.
Browns, Chiefs. The Browns beat the Steelers in a game that just so fun to watch.
They beat their ass, is what
They whooped them. And they almost came back, and Mike Tomlin punted on 4th and 1 to show that he's a pansy. If they don't punt, that game could have been totally different.
I was asleep.
I don't blame you. Like I told you during the game, I wish I could have fallen asleep and just woke up a little later and saw what happened, but I can't. Listen, the Cleveland Browns are playing. There's something about them. You're right. It is not the fact we talk culture, and Chris even brought up culture. We want to change culture, but it's not necessarily culture. It's a mindset. It's a different way of thinking. The Cleveland Browns roster has been really good for a few years. This is a very similar roster to what we've had years prior. However, we finally got a coach and a coaching staff who can come together and work towards a similar goal. Last week, our head coach was in his basement watching the game, couldn't contact the team during the game, and the Cleveland Browns still won. In years past, the Browns couldn't do that with head coaches and Jesus on the sidelines. And now they go into basically football Jesus' house and Pat Mahomes the way he's playing. And Pat's going to have a great game. We know he's going to. It's just that's the way Pat is.
That's just to see. You're talking shit like Chase Claypool now.
No, I was just trying to pull off the Pat.
You're doing a juju. Come on now.
The whiskey's not coming out as well with the Pat right now. There is no better team in the playoffs right now than the Kansas City Chiefs. Not one. They are a team set up to win it all again because that's how good they are. And leading up to this game, they have not played very good football. They barely beat Atlanta.
Oh, please talk yourself into this. God, please let
barely
him
beat
it.
Atlanta.
Let him do it. Let you talk yourself into this. Oh, please, please.
Pat Mahomes has been off for 3 weeks, basically. And now the Browns go into their house.
Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward's back. Your cousin. Your cousin. You guys are close. You guys grew up together. Hung out together. You know how good your cousin is, but you also know he's soft.
Yeah, he's soft.
But
yep.
Denzel Ward has allowed the lowest completion percentage of any corner in the league.
When he plays, he's a beast.
When he plays, he's a beast. And now he's coming off COVID, and he's got to keep up with the cheetah in Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are going to get theirs. Travis Kelce's going to get theirs. The Browns, for as much as I hated to see it, playing quarters defense against the Pittsburgh Steelers was the right move. And that's exactly what they're going to do this week.
Are we
going to play quarters.
Taking the Browns right now?
Trying to keep in front of them.
Is this what
I'm
we're
not
doing?
giving you my pick yet.
What? I feel it. I can feel it.
Oh, you should feel it. It's coming that way. Don't get me twisted. It's going that way. Kareem Hunt goes back. And I wrote down these notes. Let me make sure I got my notes correct here. I'm going to pull them out. My notes on Kareem Hunt.
Kick chick in the face.
He did. And
I'm just kidding. We're not talking playoff down.
That's why he's not there anymore. But this is different for Kareem Hunt. It's personal for Kareem Hunt. It's not bulletin board material. It's nothing. It's a personal thing. It's a pride thing. It's him finding something to push him more, to drive him more, to go back and correct his mistake, but he can't get caught up in it. And if he doesn't get caught up in it, the Browns can win this game. Baker has to play better than he has, but he can't go out there expecting to match up every single play with Pat Mahomes. The Browns have structure. They're all buying in. It's not a tug of war anymore. They're all pulling the rope in the same direction. And the Cleveland Browns are going to go into Arrowhead Stadium, and they are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs 34-31 and move on to the AFC Championship game. And that's the bottom line because my fat ass just said so. What say you, sir?
I say that I thought you would just fade the shit out of the Browns just for your own sanity and sake. Listen, man. I get it. It sounds great. Is Stefanski? Listen, if they stick to the game plan, they need to control the clock. This can't be a shootout like you and I have talked about. Baker's play better. Can't turn the ball over at all. Not one turnover the Cleveland Browns can afford in this game. Patrick Mahomes in that offense is such a quick hitting offense. Listen, last week was awesome, and I enjoyed every bit of it. To me, you're running into a big boy football team here. I don't think you're at that level right now. I hope I'm wrong. Jesus, I hope I can come over here next week and just say how wrong I am. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs 37-24. And I'm sorry. And I hope I'm wrong.
That's a clearly logical. That was like me with Alabama last week. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. Chiefs are a clearly superior team. And yes, I said they were playing bad. And, Pat hasn't played in a few weeks. But Andy Reid Chiefs teams coming off a bye, they haven't scored less than 34 points, 31 points. They're good. Andy Reid coming off a bye is really good. The Chiefs are really good. The problem is their defense doesn't scare me outside of Chris Jones. Tyrann Mathieu, ball hawk. Frank Clark, whatever.
You mean the
I'm
Honey
not
Badger?
worried about Frank Clark. I love the Honey Badger. And the Browns took Leon McFadden one pick ahead of him.
Leon McFadden, that guy, he's selling decent cars over at Nissan right now.
He is selling used cars better than anyone. That's what Leon McFadden does.
Yeah. Leon, come down if you need a neon. That's his slogan. Everybody knows it.
Get your 2002 neon from Leon McFadden. Leon's used cars. It's crazy. Crazier than picking me ahead of a Honey Badger. But listen, the Browns can't get caught up in this. Yes, the idea is run the football. And that's a great idea, but that's what they expect you to do.
Something tells me they come out throwing the football.
They might. But you got to be even. You got to keep Baker comfortable. You got to keep him in rhythm. That's a big thing. Use those short screen games to also adapt to the run. And you can't punt. You can't punt 3 to 4 times and a half and expect to win this game.
To me, it's the scripting's there, right? So I'm not looking at the first 6 minutes of the first quarter. Everybody knows that's scripted. Everybody knows the first drive on the second half scripted. I want to see how they adjust to what Kansas City's doing, because Kansas City, in my opinion, is going to force Baker Mayfield to make throws. And yes, you want to establish a run, but I think Kansas City would rather lose with Baker Mayfield beating them than Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt beating them, in my opinion. I just think that's what they're going to focus on, and I think Kevin Stefanski knows that. Now, is Baker Mayfield ready for this? Is the receivers ready for this? I mean, it'd be nice to have 13 out there, wouldn't it?
It would. And I think the Baker you've seen over the last 9 to 10 weeks is a Baker who understands this offense and maybe will not be forcing the ball to number 13 if they get a chance to play together next year, which we'll talk about more in the offseason. So to recap our picks, we're agreeing on everything except for Browns Chiefs. I took the Browns. Drew took the Chiefs. It's going to be a hell of a fun football weekend. And now
so we talked about this. Chris is saying who had more 40-point games.
That was the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I understand that. But
and I gave up more points. They have to score those 40-point games.
I hope you all score 70. I hope you all hang 70 on them. I really do.
If they have to score 70, they're going to lose 92-70.
I mean, at least the game's at 3:00, so I can stay awake for it. I mean, you can't start games at 8:20 anymore. You can't do it.
I'm with you. Let's just have a good football weekend. I hope the Browns win, man. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And when you and Chris are here next week,
I'm rooting my ass off for him, man.
Just give a good eulogy. I know you were so big. You're like a diehard Browns fan last Sunday night. It was crazy.
I'm ready to go. Listen, man,
we're all ready for it.
If the Lions were there and you guys were sitting at home, you would be doing the same. It's hard to not root for success. This isn't the Indians or Cavs, right? We're playing different conferences. The Indians and Cavs, they can just go straight to hell as far as I'm concerned. But when we're talking about football, we understand each other's pain, and it hits different. And so those other teams I will not root for, but I'm all in on the Browns. Let's roll.
Dude, Indians' entire team roster right now makes less money than Miguel Cabrera makes next year. That's how bad things are in Cleveland.
So better team than ours. Better team than ours. So
it's not good times for baseball, but we'll see what happens.
Our hockey team is better than yours because don't you all have the Monsters? We have a real team.
Hey, the Monsters are Calder Cup. They won the Calder Cup 5 years ago.
Hey, Red Wings finished with the worst record in NHL last year, so we progressed.
They got Stevie Y back, didn't they?
Yes. Well,
all right.
He's going to change things around, little Caesars Arena while Blake Griffin takes 32 shots and shoots 2 for 32.
It's bad for our baseball and basketball teams right
and
now.
Football team. What do you mean?
And football team. You got your football team. At least you got a new start, which it's the one thing we get excited about. A new start. Our new guys.
These guys are excited about that. Hit the damn fan within 3 months.
Bro, I was hopping on board with Hugh Jackson driving the bus. So yeah I understand.
Hugh Jackson, baby.
It happens. Who's driving the bus? Hugh Jackson. But who's driving the bus for our next segment? And that is true. Because this next segment, Ward's Wagers. Give me a second here. Let me make sure I got this all right. Ward's Wagers.
Here comes the money.
Whoa.
Yeah, baby. Ward's Wagers, sponsored by Latani CBD Olive. Check it out, Latani.com. 43-18-2 against the spread in 2019. 4-0 2 weeks ago, 1-2 last week, 21-15-1 on the year. And it has been a weird year picking games because of COVID and everything. But hey, you're still above 500, still kicking ass. Yeah. What do you got for us this week?
So I'm gonna play them all. We're playing them all because it's divisional round weekend.
Go big or go home.
Rams at Green Bay. Green Bay giving up 6.5. I'm still taking Green Bay. That thumb for Jared Goff we referenced to earlier. I don't feel confident with it whatsoever. So we're gonna roll with Aaron Rodgers. Moving on. Baltimore at
Rodgers.
The Buffalo Bills, and nobody circles the damn wagons like the Buffalo Bills. There's going to be infants thrown through tables. There's going to be complete chaos, and we will take the Buffalo Bills. They're -2.5. We're rolling with Buffalo.
Hang on, I don't mean to interrupt here, but can you even be a Buffalo Bills fan if you haven't gone through a table?
Have you seen the video of like a little tiny infant getting thrown through a table into like a cake or some shit?
They do that rather than circumcise them or having baptism.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like child abuse, but they're Buffalo. Nobody circles the wagons like they do. Cleveland at Kansas City. Kansas City -10. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns here with the points, folks, just so we're not confused with what I talked about earlier. I'm taking 10 points is a lot in this league. I will take Cleveland at Kansas City +10, rather, for the Cleveland Browns. Finally, Tampa Bay heads to New Orleans. New Orleans -3. We've talked. I've been firm on Tampa Bay. If I'm wrong, it won't be surprising. But I'm going to take Tampa Bay plus the field goal here over there in the Superdome where there won't be 60,000 fans.
So what do you got? Green Bay -6.5. Buffalo?
Yeah, Green Bay -6.5. Buffalo -2.5. Cleveland +10. Tampa Bay +3.
All right. And that was Ward Wagers, brought to you by Latani CBD Olive Oil. And that is all we have for you tonight. Anything else you want to get off your chest tonight?
No, man. I'll watch some golf. Eat some food.
That sounds delicious. I just realized I never ate dinner just now. My stomach's like, I'm like, crap. Got to go make dinner. Yep. Brother, you have a great night.
You too, man.
Enjoy that golf.
Yeah, I will.
Next week.
Yep. See you next week, brother.
Everybody like, share, subscribe, hit up our page, fb.me/FCFS pod, bonfire.com/store/FCFS-Ts. Get those new Cleveland Brown shirts, underdogs. Check them out there. New shirts every Monday for like the next week or next month. I meant, yeah, every week for the next week. That makes no sense. Whatever. Browns are going to win. AFC Championship game. Browns and Bills. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Roof, roof. And to all that watch, we salute you. Not even
Go Browns.
Later.